Hello everyone. In the last lecture, we were discussing about solution. So I told you Raoult's law means two volatile components were placed in a closed vessel. Then they exert pressure on the solution. That pressure exerted is called as vapor pressure. So that pressure is exerted by both the volatile components. So what is the total pressure exerted by these components that we calculated? Okay, and Raoult, one scientist, had given us one law related to the pressure exerted by individual component. So the pressure exerted by a volatile component is the product of mole fraction of that component and its vapor pressure in pure form. Suppose it's a mixture of A and B together. A is volatile, B is also volatile. Pressure exerted by A is equal to XA into P0A. Pressure exerted by B, PB, is XB into P0B that we discussed. Again, after that we studied what is the mole fraction of that component in the vapor phase, and that mole fraction we denoted by Y1 and Y2. So Y1 is P1 upon P total pressure and Y2 is P2 upon P total pressure. Okay. So up to this we discussed. After that I told you ideal and non-ideal solutions. Ideal solutions means they follow Raoult's law over entire range of concentration. Delta H of mixing is 0. Delta V of mixing is 0. Then their interactions between solute-solute, solvent-solvent, solute-solvent are nearly same. They are comparable. And their vapor pressure of the solution is between the vapor pressure of two components. Okay. But these are all properties of ideal solution. In reality these things are not observed. So solutions, they show deviation from this ideal behavior, and that deviation is called that deviation is either positive deviation or negative deviation. Which one shows positive deviation, or what are the properties of this positive deviation? Means that solute and solvent interaction is very weak. They are away from each other. Okay, so vapor pressure of this resultant solution is higher than vapor pressure of that component in the pure form. Okay, this is positive deviation. And second one we discussed, that's a negative deviation from Raoult's law. So in this case, interaction between solute and solvent is very strong. They are associated with each other, or there is some bonding, some attraction between these two. That interaction is higher than solvent-solvent interaction or solute-solute interaction. And its vapor pressure of this solution is less than vapor pressure of individual component in the pure form. Okay. Up to this we discussed. Now we will start with a new point, and very important point. What is it? That is known as colligative property. That is known as colligative property. So what is meant by colligative property? So a property which depends on number of particles and not on nature of particles, solute particles, is known as colligative property. So colligative property is a property which depends on number of solute particles, depends on number of solute particles and not on nature of solute particles, not on nature of solute particles. That is called as colligative property. Okay, 4 different examples are given. I'll tell you the meaning of each property, then it will be quite easier to understand. Generally, colligative property is used to find molar mass of substance. So with the help of these 4 colligative properties, we are going to find molar mass of solute present in the solution. Okay, so four colligative properties are there. What are these four colligative properties? See, first one is lowering of vapor pressure. Second one is elevation in boiling point, elevation of boiling point. Next one is depression in freezing point, depression in freezing point. And fourth one is osmotic pressure. Fourth one is osmotic pressure. These four properties we have to study here. Remember, lowering of vapor pressure is a colligative property. Vapor pressure is not colligative property. Elevation of boiling point is a colligative property. Depression in freezing point is a colligative property. Only boiling point or only freezing point are not colligative properties. So they ask question MCQ, which of the following is a colligative property? Vapor pressure, osmotic pressure, melting point, not melting point, boiling point and freezing point. Okay, vapor pressure, osmotic pressure, freezing point and boiling point. Answer is osmotic pressure. Only boiling point, only freezing point, only vapor pressure are not colligative property. What are the colligative properties? Decrease in vapor pressure, increase in boiling point and decrease in freezing point. These are the colligative properties. What does it mean? See, for example, here we have pure solvent and here we have a solution. Okay, this is solvent. Here we have taken solvent and here we have taken a solution. To study colligative property, we have to use dilute solution. Okay, we have to use dilute solution. It is said that 0.2 molar or less than 0.2 molar solution, concentration solution must be used. So number one, that substance should be, that solution should be dilute solution. Okay. Second thing, here this solute must be non-volatile, and solvent is volatile. Solvent is volatile. These are the assumptions not mentioned in our book, but remember, if you know this, then it is very helpful to study colligative properties. Solution is dilute. Second one, solute considered here is non-volatile and solvent is volatile. And one more condition they have given, that solute should be non-electrolyte, or we can say it should not associate, no association or dissociation, no association or dissociation taking place in that solute. Means, suppose we take acetic acid. Acetic acid, if we add it in water, it splits, dissociates. NaCl in water splits. Okay. Suppose we have added 5 particles of NaCl in water, but they behave as 10 particles in water because it is splitted. And acetic acid, if we add in benzene, acetic acid in organic solvent, it have property of association. It has property of association. Means what? Suppose we have added 10 acetic acid particles. So we expect lowering of vapor pressure due to 10 acetic acid molecules, but it is observed that vapor pressure is found only because of 5 particles, because 2 acetic acids combine together and they behave as a single particle. Okay, so these molecules, they associate as well as few molecules dissociate, but it should not happen because this property depends upon number of particles. If particles associated, then number of particles in the solution are decreased. Okay, if they are associated. If particles are dissociated, then number of particles in the solution are increased, right? So to avoid this, start with a solute which is not associated or not dissociated. So one simple example we will consider, that is sugar solution. Sugar added in water. This is simply water and this is sugar plus water. This is H2O and this is sugar plus water. Clear? Now let us check its vapor pressure. So vapor pressure of solvent denoted as P01. Okay, or P0, and vapor pressure of solution is denoted as P. Vapor pressure of solution is denoted as P. Okay. What is observed? What is observed? P0 is greater than P. Similarly, if we note boiling point of water, say that is T0B, B for boiling point, boiling point of water, and take boiling point of this sugar solution. What is observed? Elevation in boiling point. Boiling point is elevated, means sugar solution boils at higher temperature. No much difference. If this is boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, it boils at 100.2, 100.3 degrees Celsius. Like this, rise in boiling point temperature is observed. Okay. Similarly, freezing point. Freezing point. If we note freezing point of water as T0F and freezing point of solution is TF, what is observed? Freezing point is decreased. There is depression in the freezing point, and osmotic pressure is totally new. So when we will discuss that point, that time I will explain you that term. But you know what is vapor pressure, freezing point and boiling point, so I am telling it here. Is this clear? So what happened here? There were only 10 particles of, suppose, just to clear your concept, 10 solvent molecules. Here 10 solvent molecule plus say 5 sugar molecules. So number of particles, sugar particles are increased. Okay, its explanation I will give you. Number of sugar particles are increased. So it results into decrease in vapor pressure. So vapor pressure of solvent decreases. Boiling point of solution increases. Solution, boiling point of solution is higher than that of pure solvent. Solution boils means ultimately solvent in that solution boils. So boiling point of solvent decreases due to addition of solute in it, and increases and freezing point decreases due to addition of solute in this. Why is it so? That we will discuss while studying each and every property. Is this clear? What is colligative property? Okay. If number of particles are changed, here I have added 5 particles, and suppose another solution, if I start with 10 molecules of sugar, then definitely this P will be less than that P. More the number of particles, more is the lowering in the vapor pressure, more is elevation in boiling point, more is depression in freezing point, and more will be the osmotic pressure. This point will be clear. One by one we will discuss each property. Is this clear? What is colligative property? Right now remember, colligative property is the property which depends on number of particles and not on nature of solute particles. 4 properties are there: lowering of vapor pressure, elevation of boiling point, depression of freezing point, and osmotic pressure. Okay. And what are the properties to study colligative properties? What are the facts to study colligative properties? We should remember, just no question on this. Solution must be dilute, solute must be non-volatile, and solvent must be volatile, and solute should not associate or dissociate. Solute should not associate or dissociate. So very first property, that is lowering of vapor pressure, that we will discuss now. Okay, and these colligative properties are used to find molar mass of a substance, molar mass of a solute. Okay, let us see what is lowering of vapor pressure. So first colligative property we are discussing here, that is lowering of vapor pressure. Everybody knows what is meant by vapor pressure. So here one closed container containing pure solvent is taken. So this vapor of this solvent exerts some pressure on this liquid. Equilibrium is attained, right? Rate of condensation and rate of evaporation becomes equal. So at that time, whatever pressure is exerted by this vapor on the liquid is called as vapor pressure. Here we have taken pure solvent, and here we have taken solution. Here we have taken solution. Now what is observed? I said its vapor pressure is P01 and this is P1. Okay. What is found? This vapor pressure is greater than this P0 and P. This vapor pressure is greater than this. Why is it so? See, one thing I told you, solvent is volatile, solute is non-volatile as well as non-electrolyte. Okay, means it is not associated, not dissociated. Just to clear your concept. Here, all solvent molecules are volatile in nature. Say what 7-8 particles are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 particles are there on the surface. Okay, it is not possible to count, just to clear. Suppose 8 solvent molecules are there on the surface of that liquid and all are volatile. All are volatile. In this case, now in the same solvent we have added solute, say sugar is added. So what will happen? Some particles occupy surface position. So here suppose this is solute, this is solution, this circle is solvent, this cross, this square, it's suppose solute particle. Again this is solvent, this is solute, solvent, this is solute, solvent, again solute, and so on. Okay, so what happened in this case? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and say one more is there like this. Okay, so there were now 8 particles on the surface. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But out of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 are solute particles and remaining 4 are solvent particles. So here volatile components are only 4 particles. So here vapor pressure is caused because of 8 particles on the surface. Here vapor pressure is caused because of 4 particles on the surface. It is not exactly half. It is not exactly half. Okay. Just to clear. Here number of volatile particles on the surface are less than in this case. Here only pure solvent is there. Here along with solvent some solid particles also occupy the surface, and that's why its vapor pressure, number of volatile particles on the surface are reduced, so vapor pressure is reduced in this case. Got my point? Clear? Okay. Now how is it used to find molar mass of the substance? That we have to find. Okay. See, one law in the last lecture we studied, that was Raoult's law. So according to Raoult's law, we can say P1 is equal to P01 x1, right? This is vapor pressure of pure component and this is vapor pressure of solution, P01 and P1. So according to Raoult's law, we can say P1 is equal to vapor pressure of that component. Which component is responsible for exerting vapor pressure? Only volatile component. Non-volatile component is not evaporated. So it is not responsible for exerting vapor pressure. Clear this point? Only volatile substance exerts vapor pressure. So volatile substance is solvent. So solvent, for solvent we use suffix as 1 and for solute we use suffix as 2. Clear this point? So solvent is P1 and P01 is for pure solvent. So according to Raoult's law, pressure exerted by vapor pressure exerted by partial pressure exerted by solvent is equal to its mole fraction and its vapor pressure in the pure form. So P1 is equal to P01 x1, but we know that x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. Sum of the mole fractions is equal to unity is equal to 1. We studied in 11. Also in yesterday's lecture I told you. So replace this x1 by 1 minus x2. Therefore, this becomes P1 is equal to P01 1 minus x2. Open the bracket. Therefore, P1 is equal to P01 minus P01 x2. Shift this x2 this side, P01 x2 here and P1 here. Therefore, Therefore, this becomes P01 minus P1. P01 as it is. This P1 goes there, so becomes minus. This comes this side, so becomes plus P01 X2. And what is this? P01 minus P. P01 is vapor pressure of pure solvent and P1 is vapor pressure of solution. This is greater, means P01 minus P is nothing but change in vapor pressure, lowering in vapor pressure. So this difference is denoted by delta P. P01 minus P1 is equal to delta P, and that is equal to P01 X2. Very, very important. In MCQs they ask, okay, lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to mole fraction of solute present in the solution. Because vapor pressure is decreased due to solute particles. More the solute particles, more is the lowering of the vapor pressure. So, lowering of vapor pressure is equal to or is proportional to, this is constant, this value is constant, is proportional to mole fraction of solute. Very, very important. Okay. So, delta P is equal to P01 X2. P01 X2. Okay. Now, one more term is there which is called as relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering, name itself indicates the meaning. Relative means it is related, it is compared. So what is relative lowering of vapor pressure? It is the ratio of lowering of vapor pressure to vapor pressure of pure component. Relative lowering of vapor pressure. What is its definition? How can we define relative lowering of vapor pressure? Is the ratio of this is the ratio. It is the ratio of, what is this term? Delta P. What is meant by delta P? Lowering of vapor pressure upon P01. What is P01? Vapor pressure of pure component. So, relative lowering of vapor pressure is the ratio of vapor pressure, is the ratio of lowering of vapor pressure to vapor pressure of pure solvent. Lowering of vapor pressure to vapor pressure of pure solvent. Okay. So, put the values. This is nothing but P01 X2. Delta P, P01 X2 upon P01. So, this P01 get cancelled. So, we get this is equal to X2. Okay. We get this value is equal to X2. So, we can say delta P. We can say delta P upon P01. What is delta P? P01 minus P upon P01 is equal to X2, is equal to X2. This is relative lowering of vapor pressure. But what is X2? X2 is nothing but N2 upon N1 plus N2, number of moles of that component upon total number of moles, is called as X2, mole fraction of solute. But solution is dilute. Solution is dilute. Therefore, N1 is very, very greater than N2. Therefore, N1 plus N2 is taken as N1. Therefore, N1 plus N2 is approximately taken as N1. So, what do we get? X2 is equal to, what is it? N2 upon N1. N2 upon N1. Is this clear? Okay. Now, what is meant by N2? N2, number of moles of solute. Call this equation 1. N2 means number of moles of solute, and N1 means number of moles of solvent. I said 1 for solvent, 2 for solute. So, N2 number of moles of solute and N1 number of moles of solvent. Number of moles of solvent. How do we find number of moles? Given weight upon molecular weight. So, N is nothing but given weight upon molecular weight. So we can write N2 is W2 upon M2 and N1 is W1 upon M1. So N1 is W1 upon M1 and N2 is W2 upon M2. Putting in equation 1. Put it in 1. So what do we get? Delta P upon P01 is equal to X2. And what is X2? N2 upon N1. What is N2? W2 upon M2. And what is N1? W1 upon M1. Okay. So this term becomes delta P upon P01 is equal to P01 minus P upon P01 is equal to, this goes up, M1 W2 upon M2 W1. Okay. So if we know all the things except molar mass of solute, we can find M2. So this is a formula, mathematical equation to derive molar mass of solute with the help of lowering of vapor pressure. How to find? We have to solve numericals based on this. See one more time. So according to Raoult's law, here we can say according to Raoult's law, R-A-O, Raoult's law, according to Raoult's law, what is the equation? P1 is equal to P01 X1, but X1 is 1 minus X2. So replace this X1 by 1 minus X2. So we get P1 is equal to P01 into 1 minus X2. Open the bracket, P01 minus P01 X2. Shift it here, this P01 X2 term here. So P1 goes there. So P01 minus P is equal to P01 X2. This is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure, that is noted as delta P. So delta P is P01 X2. Delta P is P01 X2. It means delta P is proportional to mole fraction of solute. More the number of moles of solute in the solution, more will be the lowering, decrease in the vapor pressure. So one more term is there, relative lowering of vapor pressure. What is it? It is the ratio of lowering of vapor pressure to vapor pressure of pure component. So delta P upon P01. So what is delta P? It is nothing but P01 X2 upon P01. P01 get cancelled. So we get that term as X2. So we can write delta P upon P01. Split up of this delta P, P01 minus P upon P01 is nothing but X2. We call this as equation 1. Now what is meant by X2? X2 is mole fraction of solute. How do we calculate it? Number of moles of solute upon total number of moles. So N2 upon N1 plus N2. In the beginning I told you to study colligative properties we consider dilute solutions, and solution is dilute, therefore N1 is very greater than N2. So this addition is equivalent to N1. So N1 plus N2 is taken as N1. So X2 is equal to N2 upon N1. So if we replace this term by N1, this X2 becomes N2 upon N1. But what is N1 and N2? Given weight upon molecular weight is equal to number of moles. So N1 is W1 upon M1, N2 is W2 upon M2. Put these values in this equation 1. So delta P upon P01, I have skipped this, is equal to X2, and X2 is N2 upon N1. Put values of N2 and N1, and after solving this we get delta P upon P01 is P01 minus P upon P01. Split up of this delta P is equal to, this goes up, M1 W2 upon M2 W1. So with the help of this we can find molar mass of a solute. Okay, so this is first colligative property, that is lowering of vapor pressure. Remaining three properties. Two properties we will discuss parallelly. Both are quite similar. So in the next lecture we will discuss depression in the freezing point and elevation in the boiling point. Write this derivation in your notebook. They ask derive formula to find molar mass of solute by using lowering of vapor pressure. So this derivation is expected for that question. Okay. So write this in your notebook. Take a screenshot, write this in your notebook. Very, very important.